Okay guys, guess what? We are finally at the last video. There is so many more that I could do, but I need to finish this up. So this is kind of a bonus video, and I wasn't planning on doing this video until a few days ago. And what happened was Jane Davenport actually posted on her mixed media art group. She posted a video because she found it on YouTube, and then I went to watch it on YouTube, and then I reached out to the person. Her name's Carol Held, and I asked her, you know, do you mind if I copy what you're doing, and I'll send everyone over there for the instructions on it. And so she said, oh no, go ahead, I'd love it. I'm gonna just show you a few things as to why I love this idea. But before I get to that, I just want to ask you guys a favor. If any of you are on Facebook or Instagram, I would love it, and I would so appreciate it if you guys could follow me on there, and I will put all the links below, and I'll put my Facebook page here and my Instagram handle here, and I would just love it if you guys could go and follow me there. So here we go. This is what I'm going to show you. So this is going to make things really cool and interesting and fun for you. So do you see this magazine cover? And if I move it, if I move this acetate sheet, I have traced out little Missy, Sandra Bullock, okay? And so this is the concept that we are going to do. And let me tell you, it is so much fun and so awesome. And I'm going to give you more reasons to do it, not just because it's fun and awesome. Also, my 9-year-old daughter has started doing this, and she's obsessed with it. Here, I'm going to give you another one. I'm a royalty fan. I am in Canada, so they are my royal family. And I am what you would call a monarchist. I love the royal family. I always have. And my favorite is the Duchess of Cambridge. I love her. I don't know, I'm not going to get into talking about this too much. But I do want to show you something that I did years ago. Take a look at this. Isn't that kind of cool? So, I mean, obviously I can't sell that. I can sell the original. I did sell the original a long time ago. For way too little. And, but I can't make prints of this because, seriously, I would have to get permission from the Queen to be like an official whatever. But I love this thing, and I have it in my gallery on my website, janellenicol.com, for people to view, just to see, just to show different things that I have done. And the detail that went into this is crazy, crazy. I mean, so much planning went into this detail. I have to tell you that the print on there is actually like text that I printed out from their wedding vows to each other and different things that was said at their wedding. And if you look closely, you can see their names in their faces and in their hands. And I got lace for this. Oh my word, I put so much detail into that. So I just wanted to give a shout out to myself for that piece because it was so many years ago and I almost forgot about it, and I just reminded about it now. Anyways, okay, so here's something I did. I traced a little bit of Katie Holmes here. And I mean, the face doesn't look anything like her. I added my own little diddly-do in there. And then there's another one that I did. And this, okay, so the reason why this is so awesome, if I can find the page that I want to find, is because you start getting muscle memory and you learn just by tracing. This goes back to maybe the video that I was talking about with it's okay to trace, it's okay to copy, as long as you're not claiming it, and as long as you're giving credit, and as long as you're not, you know, trying to make money from something that you completely copied. Now, one thing I will say is that I could use this same pose and do it completely something else with it, and it's totally fine. Like, it's completely fine. Oh, here, okay. So this pose, got right here. And so you could, now I could use this pose and make a completely different piece, and that would totally be legit my piece. I'm just using this to help me with the pose. But what is awesome is as you work through these and trace, you start to learn, and you can't help but learn how the face works, how the body works, and how hair will move. You can't help but learn that. And the more you do it, the more fun you'll have, and the more you'll learn. And look at that. Isn't that awesome? No, you're not going to paint on this, but you learn, and then you can do a bunch of these, and then go and paint a face or paint a figure, and you will improve by doing this. There was something else I was going to say, but I think my excitement got the better of me here, and I can't remember now what it is. Oh, the best thing about this is let's do this, and hello, voila, voila. You can wipe this off with a finger, with your finger, or with a cleaning wipe. And there you go. Now we get to the purpose of what we're going to do. I've already marked these. All these little tabs are where I am planning on putting sheets of acetate. And yes, I already know how to paint figures, but this, first of all, this is a different style than what I paint. It doesn't hurt. Like, it's just kind of a fun way to practice, because no matter what you know, you're still going to want to practice. Sorry if I do quotation marks all the time. I don't actually do that much. I seem to do it mostly on my videos, so I'm not sure what it is about you guys that brings it out. And you can, there we go, and you can use different things, and we're going to go over the materials that you can use in a second. Oh, and we've got, here's another little girl. She just appeared. Her face is shorter. Look at that. Look at that. I drew a shorter face. Yay me. Okay, anyways. Okay, so let's say I wanted to trace this and this. So I have this, and then I can flip it over and trace this. Once this is all bound between these 3 books, and I'm going to do more probably, and then I'm going to have some odd sheets just for magazines and whatnot. But for now, I'm going to do these 3 Jane Davenport books, because Jane Davenport, her books are just so, I mean, they're filled with beautiful pictures and beautiful things that you can copy and you can trace, and it's awesome. Now, I don't have a coil binding or comb binding machine because I'm too cheap right now. And I can't find one that's a decent price. Actually, I did find one that's a decent price, but it had lots of bad reviews. So the Cinch, I think, would be an awesome one to get. And I think you pay around $100 for it. I'm not sure if that's Canadian or US, but if I do get one, that would be it. But right now I'm just doing these 3 books, so I feel like I can make it work without one. And then there's the Zutter, which is also another one, and I think that's a pretty good one. And there's lots of different brand names out there. Just check the reviews, because it sounds like they can be a little bit iffy. But I just have this. This is the 3/4 inch, which I'm not sure, it might work for one of these books. And then I think I'm also going to need the big massive one here. There's 2 here, because I feel like they're going to be a little bit thick. So I've got these, and I just got these from Staples, and these aren't too expensive, and you get, like, there's 25 in here. So, you know, this part doesn't cost a lot of money. And the binding machines, the coil binding machines, can cost a little bit more. And I'm just not sure if it's worth it. So the next thing I want to go over is different sheets that you will use or can use. So I would say the best thing to get would be the acetate sheets that you would use for transparency. So that is what this is. And it's a little bit heavy, it's a little bit stiffer. The other thing that can work is these. So this is like a clear transparent tab. There's clear transparent tab dividers, binder folders. So what I have is, this one is a tab divider, and this one is basically like an acetate sheet, but it's used as a tab divider. But then I also had some of these, which I used for making stencils, and these work good as well. So I didn't cut this one up because I want to show you. So this is just a clear folder that you can use for sticking, like with little pockets in it. Just take the pockets out, and you can use these for other things if you want. Actually, this is what I gave my daughter to use. And cut this down, and then you have a clear sheet. And so the books, this is quite larger than the books. So this part here, I don't know if you can see that on camera. You can cut that off, and it won't interfere with the book. And obviously, you know, if there's printing, like this one has some printing, I can cut that off because it's quite larger, because we're going to cut these down to the size of the book. So those are some different options. I just wanted mine to be as transparent as possible. And so those acetate sheets are best, and I like the texture of these the best. But some of the other things will work. Another thing that can work, but it's a lot more flimsy, but this is the cheapest option, is these sheet protectors. Try to get as thick ones as you can. I noticed the thickest ones I saw were 3.3 mils or millimeters. I don't even know if that makes sense. Maybe they were 0.3. I don't know what it was, because this is not 3.3 millimeters. It said 3.3 on them. All right, so there you go. So these are an option, and these will work too. I just didn't like that they were flimsy, but it is a more affordable option. The acetate sheets that you get like in a pack of 100 can be around $75, and I counted I needed 83. So what I ended up doing was getting these sheets. So this is the durable plastic dividers, transparent, and this is what I've got right here. This is here, and I can just cut off the tab there. The good thing is, when you get a pack of these, if you use these, you get 2 in a pack. So remember, it might say 8, but you actually get 16. So these ones say 8, but I only get 8 because it's not a folder. It's not a it's just a divider, right? So keep that in mind. So I bought 7 packs of these because I already had a few, and so that's what I found to use. And these are basically like they're the thick acetate sheets. What's annoying is that they do have these holes in them. It's not the biggest deal, and I probably won't have it in there, because once I kind of start messing with this book, and you'll see that when you watch the instructional video, and I'm going to do it in time lapse here too for you as well. This is going to be in there, but remember, I'm also having to put my comb binding spine in here, so I need some holes anyways. I'll just have to make sure that these ones line up according to where I want the holes. So there's just a few different things that you have to consider. What you can use to draw on these, they all kind of draw the same way. You just want to make sure that they are completely slick, smooth. They don't have don't get the inkjet transparencies, because they have a rough surface on them, so that the ink can stick for inkjets. So you don't want that. You don't want like a rough or sanded kind of feel. You want completely slick, smooth. So obviously whiteboard markers will work, but these Caran d'Ache pastels work great. This is probably my favorite thing to use. And it goes quite smoothly. Look how much fun this is. This is like so much fun. And it really just, it causes you to pay attention to details in the face that you wouldn't normally do if you might miss some of them. And you can even work with shading if you have different whatever. So there we go. Oh, let's draw the line. So you can see how well these work. There we go. And then this just wipes off quite easily. It's a little bit faster. And it's also a good way, like if you're traveling, you could take this book and you can practice to your heart's content. and you just need to take something to draw with. So it takes these. So these will be the same as the Aqua Pastels from Jane Davenport. So if you have those, that will work. And then I'm going to turn this over because it's a little bit wet. I'll use this sheet protector here. This is a China marker. I have just got these. So but these write on plastic. Oh, this is amazing. Loving this. Not sure if it's erasable. So it works with that. So this is a little bit harder to erase because it's basically, I think it's considered like a grease marker. So you're going to have to push a little bit harder. You might want to use white on that. Let's just try. So white will work. Actually, white works better. So there you go. If you want to use a China marker, use white because, see, now that's wet. Or, yeah. So let's just do this eye here. This is not going to be very good. So the black one, I'm sure I could get that off a little better, and I will because I'm going to be using it. So for white, China marker, and that actually comes off really good. So the black one doesn't come off quite as well. So there you go. Learned something new. And now I gotta, oh, there we go. Oh, it's coming off just fine now. When I use my finger, it kind of comes off. There we go. It's coming off. It's a little bit harder to get it. So you don't want to have to try that hard. These water-soluble pencils, oh, look at that. These work too. So these are the water-soluble pencils. And there you go, that washes off really good. From Derwent. They are just water-soluble sketch pencils. And I use them in, I think, my mixed media drawing a face, painting a face videos that I just uploaded. Watercolor markers, I'm assuming, will not work. They kind of do. They won't show too much. And obviously they're going to wipe off really good. Let's try Jane Davenport's Magic Wands. I'm going to assume that these don't work. I'm going to try to find a dry area. Not really. They don't really show up. But if you wanted to practice shading, you can do that. You can do mermaid markers. The thing is, I wouldn't want to use my mermaid markers because I want to save them for something, you know, like I don't want to use up the ink for something that I'm just going to erase right away anyways. And these are Reeves, just, I don't know what these are. Like, I'm not sure if they're oil. They're not water soluble though. So I'm just going to draw on them. I'm not even trying to trace. So there you go. This is a very inexpensive option. Reeves from Michaels. I don't know, I think this is like 12 bucks Canadian. So, and they have quite a few colors here. So this is probably your cheapest option and your best option, and it works great. I just tried it just now and it works. So that is the whole concept of this. And you can just imagine the possibilities with this, right? And this will help in so many ways, and you can get magazines and you can practice different expressions. And I just think this is awesome. I am sure I'm not the only one that's thought of it. I want to take one of Jane Davenport's courses sometime, and she does, you know, randomly throughout the year put her workshops on sale. So definitely go and check that out. Join her, go to her site. You can log in and sign up for her newsletter. Sorry, newspaper. What am I, 50? Well, actually, I am almost 50. That's not even a joke. Oh, okay. What am I, 80? There we go, 80. I'm just like thinking my highest number, 50. Well, I'm not too far away from it. Oh, my word, what's wrong with me? I told you this is a bonus video, and I think I'm feeling a little bit free. So I'm just like letting it all hang out. And also, I will be picking a winner for the giveaway, which I'm going to do when I get back from Calgary. So you still have lots of time. I don't want to rush anyone, especially because the last couple videos I uploaded are quite long, and this one may end up being a little bit longish. So you have lots of time to watch all the videos and comment and make sure that you fill all the requirements. And I am getting back from Calgary on the 17th of July. So I'll be picking it sometime between then and when I go to Kelowna, the 22nd of July. And I'm also going to be doing a video for when I actually do pick the winner. I'll be doing a video for that. So you can start out by cutting through the pages. I'm using an X-Acto knife, and I'm just using a ruler to help me make more of a straight line. And then I just trim off kind of the little bits of paper that are still sticking onto there. And I just do a few pages at a time. No point in trying to cut through the whole book at a time. And again, I just use the ruler. You'll find that as you get to the middle of the book, you'll be farther and farther cutting into the page and not as close to the binding, which means that there'll be a different amount that you will trim off. The pages that you start at the beginning, the first groups of pages that you do, will have to be trimmed down a little bit to match the transparencies. And then the middle is more automatically matching. So here I am just cleaning up the edges so that they're not so raggedy. And now I am going to be making a template. So I've measured that out exactly the size I want it. And I'm going to measure every page by that one and make sure it's the same size as that one. And so I just kind of go through them. And so, like I said, the first groups of those pages I cut will need a little bit more trimmed off because they were cut closer to the binding. And as I get towards the middle of the book, I won't need to trim off too much because they were just a little bit farther away from the binding, just because you can't get in there as easy when you have when you're in the middle of the book. You'll see when you start doing it, you'll see that it makes sense. Basically, for this book and all of Jane Davenport's, her 3 books are all actually different sizes. For this book, it was about 8.5 by 10.5, and I can't remember what book the YouTube channel was Carol Held that did them. So check out that link and you can see more accurate measurements and whatnot and see what she did. So I am just making a note of different things that I did and that were kind of unique to what I had to use because I used a different system than she did. Okay, so it is very helpful to use clips just to keep the pages all, because once you line them up, it does help. And I am using the comb binding there to mark my holes that I need to make. Instead of measuring, for me, it's easier to just line them up that way. And then I'm just figuring out which, if I want to use the bigger hole in the crocodile or the smaller hole. And I think it made more sense to use the smaller hole and do a few holes for each one. And you will find out later in this video how this all worked out, so keep watching. It definitely will be worth your time to keep watching to see how everything worked out, because I do work out a few of the kinks with this whole system. And now I used China marker, a white China marker to mark those holes. So I have used my crocodile and done this many sheets, and it took forever just to do this amount, and that's not even close to half of the book with my crocodile. And I soon realized that this is a lot of work. So if you don't mind spending the money, definitely I would say it's worth it to invest in some kind of, like the cinch or some kind of binding machine that punches and then puts it in. I went to Michael's because they have 55% off coupon today and tomorrow. So that's why I went there. But then it turns out that all of their planner things were buy one, get one free. and I saw this paper punch for the disc bound system. This is not as easy as what you would think, and it's very time consuming, kind of annoying and irritating, and it doesn't do the greatest job. Like you can see here, and like in some of them, I kind of went almost like directly off the page, and it's really hard to get them to line up. So at this point, before I go any further, what I'm going to do is I am going to reinforce this with packing tape, which is something that might have happened either way, whether this had worked or not. And I am totally fine with that. But I wanted to just kind of stop and just let you know about this so that you can know the problems I had, so that you can be aware of that if you do want to try this method. If not, this is an affordable method, and maybe where you're at, you can get, if they, I don't know if Michaels carries the cinch, but I think if you could use a coupon for it, I would have got that in a second. But I had to find alternative methods, which again is why I started out doing this, because I had to find an alternative method. I soon figured out my alternative method was a useless method, and I had to come up with something else. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to reinforce these with masking tape, and then I'm going to start punching them properly to go with this disc system. So it is a little bit time consuming, but I think it's going to be worth it, and I don't mind work like this because sometimes it gives me a break from like trying to be constantly like coming up with creative things to do, and this way I don't really have to think. I can just do mindless work, and it kind of gives me a break from what like I said, just trying to figure out, okay, what am I going to paint next? What am I going to draw next? What am I going to do next for a video? So again, this is a little bit different than the video that I had got the idea from, but I am just reinforcing this with masking tape, and I am just folding it over the sides. Depending on how far your holes are in, if you have to do something like this for any kind of bookbinding thing, you may need to use two pieces, one on the top and one on the bottom, but for me it worked to just fold it over. Here you can see that the sheet covers, the more flimsy ones, they don't really work. They get caught in there, and I explain a little bit more about that. The best ones really are the acetate ones. Also, those the binder folders that have the little pockets in them, they work as well in that punch. Okay, so I have finally finished this project after much trial and tribulation. It was time-consuming and frustrating, but hopefully I have worked out some of the kinks for you so that you don't have to go through the same thing. I am going to be bringing these back because this doesn't work unless you have a machine that will for sure do this for you. The hole punch thing, I mean, you can make it work. It's too frustrating for me. So if you want to go low budge, that's a little bit too frustrating for me. This is probably a good way to do it. Plus these discs are a lot more secure than these would be, I think. This worked out so good. I love it actually, and I kind of like the masking tape here. I actually don't mind the look of it, and it kind of just makes it a little bit more secure, and I just like that feeling, you know, compared to these pages, although this actually does feel fine. So if in the future I want to put this in there, it's not a pain at all. That's the other good thing about this disc system, is that I can take this out and put it right back in. I don't need to take everything out and reorder the pages and then put all the pages back in again. With the acetate sheets, one at a time. With these sheets, 4 or 5 maybe will work. And these flimsy sheet protector ones that I was telling you about at the beginning, they don't work to punch. They get stuck in here and it's kind of a pain to get them out. I had to struggle with one. So they don't work in here, so I had to take some of these sheets out. So I am going to, when I get some more acetate, the thicker, stiffer ones, I will be putting them in the places where I had to take them out. So that's the only other thing, is don't get these cheaper ones or the flimsy ones. And hopefully you can find some of these acetate sheets. Like these are the folders that I use with the tabs on them, and they work great. And they're basically the same as just plain acetate sheets that you would buy, like transparency sheets that you would buy for projectors and whatnot. So those work the best. And I just love that, you know, if I don't like working around these rings, which it's not going to be a problem for me, but if I didn't like it, then I could just take this out, work on the page, put it back in. It's awesome. So I would say this disc system so far has been the best system I have found and the most affordable. So this is the last of the videos for the Jane Davenport giveaway. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me for this series. And I hope you do stay on and watch more of my channels, because I'm going to be doing lots of mixed media, lots of watercolor, lots of things. And I also kind of want to organize an ongoing giveaway. And maybe, I'm not sure what it's going to look like, but maybe every month I'll have something that I give away. And there'll be times when I do specific brands as well. So I think I want to do an Art Alchemy kind of Finnabair one. I think that would be fun. And also, please do remember, if you do like my artwork and you know, enjoy watching my channel, please do go over to Facebook. The links are down below, and my Instagram, and follow me there. I would love that and appreciate it so much if you did that. If you don't like my artwork and you don't care for me, then don't worry about it. So thanks again for watching me. I hope I will see you on another video, and I hope to hear from all of you continually, not just for a giveaway. So I will see you later. Bye.